notice you are also John Maxwell leadership trainer as well, it's just fantastic because I have all his books in my library. I love John Maxwell and read all
Wow,
his
fantastic. That's really fantastic. Yeah, I actually love
Yes.
John Maxwell. I've been a fan of his for many years. So
Oh,
just
wow.
really, I just want to welcome you again. Just welcome to the webinar. These 4 key skills that I'm going to talk about tonight are based on the Silva Method. However, I would call these timeless skills because they apply to any era, any culture, any industry, any country, and they go as far back in history from when mankind began, and it'll go on no matter how the world changes or how technology changes. So these 4 skills are for any human being to live a healthier, happier, and more successful life. And it honestly doesn't matter how you look at these 4 skills, they'll always be exactly the same. And if you apply just these 4, you actually don't need anything else in your life. And I know that sounds a bit extreme, but these really are the foundation or the pillars on which you can build a very good life. So any questions you have as I go along, please just feel free to ask. And I'm glad that you such a fan of John Maxwell.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. So just to tell you what these skills are, the first one is really about how do we remain calm and focused even under pressure. And this is really about managing and reducing stress. And this is probably the most important skill we could ever develop in our life, bar none, as the first skill, because if you can't manage stress, then you'll struggle in all your areas of your life because stress affects everything. It affects your health, your relationships, your focus, your sleep, your memory, your ability to innovate, your ability to be creative. It blocks intuition. So everything really starts to shut down the more stressed we are. So this, when I say, is the most important skill. People can develop all kinds of skills. If you just think about Wimbledon, the players can have all the skills to play the game very, very well. But if they can't manage stress, they don't win Wimbledon. The person who wins at Wimbledon in the finals can handle the pressure and cannot get affected by the last bad shot. So that's the first skill we're going to talk about. The second one sounds very obvious, to have clear goals, clearly defined goals. People always say, get clear on your goals. Yeah, that's obvious. But as much as it's obvious, I would say 90% of people don't really know exactly what they want. You can ask them, like, why are you doing what you're doing and what are you doing? Like, what do you really want to do with your life and why? And then probably struggle to answer those 2 questions. So defining our goals is such an important starting point. And I have a technique in the webinar tonight on how you can get clear on your goals, but not at a conscious level. I'm going to give you a technique that will help you go into your higher self or your higher wisdom and get some really intuitive answers. So the third one is overcoming self-limiting beliefs. And this is massive because many people don't know what their self-limiting beliefs are, but we all have them. It doesn't matter who you are. We have limiting beliefs, beliefs about things we can and cannot do that hold us back. And we first need to become aware of them before we can change that and overwrite them. But I'll talk about that tonight because you can definitely overcome any limiting belief. Everything is possible. I see someone else has joined. So whoever's joined, welcome. Anthony and Nancy, welcome. The fourth one is to make better decisions in our life and to recognize opportunities. Decision-making is a key ingredient for success. People who make good decisions and can make them relatively swiftly and stick to them tend to be more successful than people that sit on the fence and take so long to make a decision. But it's not just making decisions, it's also being able to recognize the right opportunities for us. And so much happens in a day. How do we know about all the things that are taking place if that's an opportunity for us to go after and if it's the right opportunity for us? And the way we can be better at that skill is to access more of our intuition. So both actually is accessing two things, our creativity and our intuition. That's how we make better decisions and recognize opportunities. So I'm going to expand on these 4 skills tonight and give you some immediate tips that you can use in your life, apply straight away, and that can help you if you just start to implement them, even if it's just 1 or 2 things a day. But overall, if you can apply these things, I absolutely guarantee you your life will be better and better over time. So I'm going to switch off the presentation for just a second. I just really want to say that science today has proven that each and every one of us has a blueprint. And this blueprint determines how much money we earn, how successful we are, how we achieve things or don't achieve things, how much love we expect and are able to receive, because whatever you expect, you tend to get. Also, how much love we can give. It really determines almost everything on every level. And this blueprint is also called your paradigm or your conditioning. Some people call it your formatting, as if you were a hard drive, because it's very, very similar. We're just like an empty hard drive that we are slowly formatted over time with a certain programming. And this programming is called a paradigm. So people ask, well, where does this conditioning come from? Well, it comes from our childhood. Between 0 and 7 is called the imprint phase of a child's life. And in that phase, everything the child hears or sees or is exposed to, it takes in and believes it and takes on those beliefs. So the parents, the primary caregivers, school, relatives, the media, all of that goes into this little baby's brain, and they basically adopt all of this as truth. And this becomes basically your initial programming that's so embedded, it lasts just about your whole lifetime. Of course, as you get older than 7 and, teenager, whatever, more and more gets added to that conditioning. However, what's in the 0 to 7 phase is your deepest ingrained beliefs. So the truth is, we're actually not responsible for our conditioning, but we are responsible for changing it. And we do need to change it. Every one of us needs to constantly improve and change our conditioning, because in that conditioning are beliefs that we've adopted that are not our own, and they can really limit us. Some of us are very fortunate. We had parents who did great things with certain conditioning, but there were some things that they did their best. They've put beliefs in our head about things we can or can't do, or whatever it may be, the way we view money, whether we have a mentality of abundance or mentality of lack or competitive mindset, whatever it may be. All of this comes from that conditioning. So here's a definition of this conditioning called the paradigm. As I say, psychologists like to call it the paradigm. It says the paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And almost all of our behavior is habitual. Almost all of our behavior is habitual. And this conditioning, this paradigm, has exclusive control over this habitual behavior. So when we know this, wow, we think we're in control of our lives, but really we're not. This conditioning is running the show. So here's an easy way to understand that. If this is a simple stickman diagram, it comes from some wonderful doctor many years ago called Dr. Thurman Fleet, to make it easy to understand the mind. You see, we all know what the brain is or what the brain looks like. It's an organ in the skull, but no one really knows what the mind is like. So I said, well, let's create this easy stickman. Now, there's no mistaking that the head is so much bigger than the body, because the truth is that the head, the mind, controls all our behavior. Everything is coming from the mind. Success and failure is in the mind. Wealth or poverty is in the mind. Health or sickness is in the mind. I can do this, I can't do this, in the mind. Whatever it is starts in the mind. So if we imagine, just to be simple, that the top half is the conscious mind and the bottom half is the subconscious mind, it's the subconscious mind that is this paradigm or this program that controls almost all of our behavior, and almost all of our behaviors give us our results. So the R is for results. So I have a question. What percentage of the time do you think that we're on autopilot? What do you think? Any guess?
95.
Very good. 90%, it actually is 95. It's 90 to 95% of the time, psychologists reckon we're on autopilot. So, as I said, we think that we're consciously making decisions all day, but we're not. Because in our subconscious mind, which is subconscious, sub means below our level of conscious awareness, all of these things exist, all our habits, all our beliefs, our self-confidence or self-worth. And all of this is running the show. So the question is, if you want to change your results, so make more money, be more healthy, grow the business, have better relationships, whatever it may be, if you want to change results, how effective is it to use the conscious mind, using effort and willpower, versus retraining the subconscious mind that runs 90% of your autopilot behavior? So if 90% is autopilot, it makes much more sense to rather work at the subconscious level, don't you think? At the subconscious level, that's where everything is driving our results. So I love this. People ask, take a guess, how many times more effective is it to reprogram the subconscious mind versus using conscious effort and willpower? I don't know if you want to guess how many times more effective it is. Any guess? You want to guess?
10 times? 10 times?
Much more than that. It's more than 1,000 times.
Wow.
30,000 times. This is according to neuroscience. 30,000 times more effective to reprogram the subconscious mind to change your results than to try to use effort and willpower. And the best example I can give is people who are trying to reduce their weight. How many people do you know that try to reduce weight, they lose a bit, they put it on, they reduce a bit, they put it on, and it keeps going, sometimes for years and years, sometimes their whole life, sometimes they just never get it right. Because if it was so easy with effort and willpower, we would all be rich and skinny and happy, but we're not. So if we went about programming the subconscious mind and just focus there, we would automatically change our behaviors and our results would effortlessly change towards what we really want. So the good news is that in the Silva Method, the entire program is about reprogramming the subconscious mind. It's a dynamic meditation. And that's what reprograms that paradigm that drives our behavior and our results. So very, very effective and sustainable. So even including reducing weight, if you use the Silva Method technique, you would naturally and automatically start to change behaviors without using effort and willpower. It would slowly be things that you adopt and change, which would give you your results, slowly reduce weight, and over time, get towards your goal weight. And the thing is, it would be sustainable. You wouldn't put it back, because people put it back when their subconscious mind hasn't changed. Subconscious mind's program is, I'm overweight. They use lots of effort. They may reduce it, but then the subconscious mind says, no, I'm programmed, I'm overweight. It will somehow, some way default back to what is in that program. That mental program runs our life. So what is the Silva Method? Well, it's basically a scientifically proven step-by-step program of very, very easy to learn structured techniques for personal success, health, and happiness. And I think the Silva Method is so effective because, one, they're very easy to learn. I mean, they're very simple. But two, it's a structured program. If this is your problem, that's the technique. If sleep is your problem, that's a technique. If weight loss is your problem, whatever it is, These are very simple instructor techniques, so very easy to learn and to apply. Here are just some people who are what we call Silva graduates. All these famous people did the Silva Method before they were famous. And many of them give credit to the Silva Method for launching their careers. If you just go onto YouTube, you will see Jack Canfield. He said that the Silva Method is what started his career. And he's a famous author today, writes the Chicken Soup of the Soul books and many other things. But he said everyone in the world should do the Silva Method. And many others, Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, they've all given credit to the Silva Method at some point or other. So the only reason I mention it's been around since 1966 is because I don't know many personal development programs that have been around for more than 50 years. And it's all over the world, and millions of people have been transformed by this wonderful program. And how it really works is, as I said, we work at the subconscious level that drives all our behavior, and we go into dynamic meditation, entering deeper levels of mind, and then focusing our mind using creative visualization, using guided imagery. We transform and retrain and rewrite that programming to give us the results we want. And it's quick. It really works. It's highly effective. And it doesn't take long to change limiting beliefs or better health or whatever it may be. The other great thing is 2 days of the 4-day program is about developing your intuition. What a wonderful gift. Probably one of the best skills you could ever learn, because once you've got intuition, you start to really make better decisions overall in life. You just have that hunch, you have that gut feeling, you have that sensing, that knowing of which direction to take, and then you live what I call a guided life. And it really feels like you're in the flow. It's a wonderful feeling, that feeling that the universe has got your back. Everything works out for you. Synchronicities, that's really living from a place of intuition. So just a couple of results. Here's a lady who did the Silva Method with me a while ago, and she came to the program because she suffered for about 12 years with terrible insomnia. And her number one goal was to overcome insomnia. And she absolutely did that on day one. That first night, she's had the best sleep she's had in like 12 years. And by the second night, she slept right through, and she's been like that ever since. And she says to me, I'm totally relaxed about it. If I can't sleep, I just apply the Silva technique and I get to sleep. So I'm not worried about not sleeping anymore, because insomnia is related to the anxiety of not sleeping, which can also just keep you awake. The story below that is really right on the extreme of the spectrum on how powerful this program is. That lady graduated with me as a Silva trainer. Her name is Pooja. And she fell out of a 2-story building at 22, broke her neck, punctured the nerve bundle, and was declared quadriplegic, paralyzed from the neck down. And she said to the doctors, there's no way I'm going to be quadriplegic. I will walk again. In fact, I'll climb Mount Kilimanjaro, she said. It took her 7 years. She's in full perfect health, and she did climb Mount Kilimanjaro. So if you ask yourself, looking at your life and your goals, if someone can come back from full body paralysis, imagine what you could do. Our problems are nowhere near as severe as full body paralysis. We have enormous potential in our mind. What we need to do is unlock that potential. And all that potential resides in the subconscious mind, and all our limiting beliefs that hold us back. Everything we're so afraid to do, we don't think we can do, are just beliefs. They're just limiting beliefs. So the power of the mind, when you know how to tune in and unlock that, there's really no limit to what you can do. I mean, Abraham Maslow came to the conclusion that our potential is unlimited. So imagine what you could do in your life with these techniques. So let's just look a bit deeper, how to remain calm and focused even under pressure. This is about reducing stress, managing stress, which is overall going to improve health. Now, as I said, this has got to be the most important skill you could ever learn to develop. Someone just sending me a message here. Oh, the Zoom calendar invite said it starts at 8 p.m. Let me just write back quickly. Okay, sorry, apologies for anyone. It is recorded, so if anyone comes on at 8 p.m. who missed the beginning, I'll just apologize. That's an error. Not too sure why the Zoom calendar has that in. Okay, so how to remain calm and focused. So let's talk about stress. Stress affects every single area of your life, bar none. There's not an area of your life it won't affect. You're suffering from stress, you won't sleep well, you'll have poor memory, you'll fight with people, you will have poor relationships, you'll make bad decisions, you won't be able to focus at work, you won't have intuition, your creativity will be stumped, you won't be able to innovate, you'll find problem solving exceptionally more challenging than normal problem solving. So if we could just get the handle on this and think, well, wow, if I learn to just manage my stress, how much better my life could be. And for anyone out there who's got children, they suffer terribly from stress. Many adults think it's an adult thing. Stress is, small children suffer from stress already, very small. So I do also have a Silva Kids program, but any child over the age of 8 can attend the Silva Method. And what a better gift to give your child than to learn techniques on how they can manage and reduce stress and equip them for the rest of their life. Because when we can't manage stress, we become anxious. And when we suffer from anxiety and that's prolonged, you can end up suffering from depression. And coming back from depression is way, way more difficult than just learning a technique to start managing stress at the outset. So let's have a look at some of the early warning signs of stress. So maybe you guys just want to participate a little bit and just give me some of the early warning signs of stress that you're aware of. And it'll be a speed. So just rattle them.
Lack of sleep. Yeah.
Yep, lack of sleep, 100%. What else?
Digestive problems.
Yes.
Headache.
Headaches, yes. What emotional or physical signs?
Anxiety.
Absolutely, anxiety. Yep. What else?
Like physiological type effects, like you start sweating.
Yes, you start sweating, absolutely. Or your heart races. Yep. What else? How are we emotionally when we're stressed?
Yeah, we can't think very clearly.
Yeah. How do we behave with people when we're very stressed? Aren't we a little bit irritable?
Yeah, you generally have less tolerance.
Exactly, yes. We have less tolerance. We fly off the handle. We can be, angered easily. Let's have a look what we've got on the list here. Being impatient, overly critical, also crying, just crying too easily for no reason, just bursting into tears, or the opposite of that, not being able to cry. People who are very stressed sometimes can't even cry at a funeral. That's from stress. It's a very sad occasion. Naturally and normally, a person would cry when they're suffering from grief. If you're extremely stressed and you suffer from grief, you have an inability to cry, which is really very bad for a person. Also, not being able to laugh. Things can be funny. People are making jokes. You're like, oh, it's not even funny. That's also a sign of stress. Or that terrible feeling of being overwhelmed. Because when you're overwhelmed, you actually can't focus and things just snowball and more piles on and you just feel like you actually can't cope. So that's even leads to being fearful. In terms of physical, you guys mentioned most of these. The thing I just add is also pain is exacerbated if you got stress. People who are deeply relaxed with the same ailment feel far less pain than people who are stressed and have pain. Also just being tired for no reason, fatigue, continuous fatigue. You wake up in the morning and you feel like you just want to stay in bed and sleep a few more hours. That's from stress. Or shortness of breath, shallow breathing in the upper chest, and definitely poor memory. Many people say that their memory is no good or they think they don't have a good memory. usually there's nothing wrong with a person's memory. It's always got to do with stress. If you just learn how to reduce stress and change that belief that you forget, you don't remember, your memory is just fine. There are other factors that are affecting that. So let's look at behaviors. What kind of things do you think we consume? What do we eat or drink or consume when we're suffering from stress?
People can consume alcohol because I think that's a way of controlling it.
Yep, absolutely. Alcohol, number one. Yeah, very good. What else?
Yeah, sugary foods.
Yes, sugary foods. What else?
Are we talking just about consumption? I guess people can tend to consume more food when they're stressed.
Yes, you can just comfort eat, correct. What else do we take in? What else do you want to eat or drink?
I was going to say coffee, but I'm not sure.
Yep.
Is that
No,
something
you're
people
right.
drink with this?
100% coffee, definitely. And if you think that fatigue is a result of stress, sometimes when we're so tired, but 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we go and have a coffee because we're trying to wake up. Or even in the morning, you wake up fatigued. You think, I'm not okay until I have my coffee. So coffee, definitely. So we've got coffee, sugar, comfort eating, alcohol. Anything else? Okay. If you go to the extreme, people consume drugs. Or what about chocolate? People like to indulge in chocolate. So any guesses why? Why do you think we go for alcohol? Or smoking is another one. Smoking, comfort eating, chocolate. Why do we go for that? What does it do to us?
I'm guessing that alcohol kind of dulls the senses, so it kind of makes it go away. But even though it's a temporary fix.
Yeah, so we feel better, right? Would you say? We feel better when we have a drink, if we're very stressed, or if we have chocolate or something, because what it really does is all those products, every one of them, including smoking, it actually causes a chemical reaction in the brain. It causes the brain to release serotonin and dopamine. And the one makes us feel good, and the other one makes us sleep well. So this is what we go for now. Did you know that deep belly breathing in the bottom of your body, not the top? If I had to stand up and show you what I mean. If you put a hand on your chest and a hand on your belly and you breathe deep belly breathing, only your bottom hand would actually move and not your chest. So deep belly breathing is a natural antidote to stress, and it causes the brain to release serotonin and dopamine, the exact same chemicals that we get from these other products, except it's for free and it's 100% healthy. So the first tip I'd say is to meditate daily. In meditation, you are actually dissolving stress chemicals the minute you start to meditate. It's absolutely amazing. And just deep breathing. If you just right now, where you're sitting, take a deep breath in your belly, let it out, just slow down. Deep breath in and deep breath out. You'll just feel, you start to feel better. Deep belly breathing, even if it's just 10 breaths, you'll start to feel calmer, more relaxed, just start to feel better. It's a natural antidote to stress. So I don't know if you do or don't meditate daily. If you do, fantastic, wonderful. Share it with more people. Help others to do the same. Try to increase it if you can to 2 times a day, and best 3 times a day. Morning first option. Second best option is at night before you go to bed. And third best option is at noon, like after lunch. But if you can only meditate once a day, my recommendation is first thing in the morning. And it sounds counterintuitive because you wake up quite calm from sleep. You think I need to meditate at night when I'm highly strung at the end of the day. It's actually the very opposite. If you wake up in the morning when you're calm and you meditate first thing in the morning, your whole day will be better. All the things you said were going wrong on the previous slide, lack of focus, headaches, stomach disorders, sweating, nerves, whatever it is, that just reduces significantly if you meditate first thing in the morning. So if you do meditate, wonderful. If you don't, I really recommend it. And if you don't know how to, some people say, I don't know how to meditate, there's a free one, a free MP3 on the website of the Silva Method. On the bottom left is the address there. There's just a video there. Watch the video and then download that MP3. It's a guided, long relaxation meditation. It's about 26 minutes. And did you know it's equivalent to 4 hours of natural sleep? For the mind and for the body, it's equivalent to 4 hours of natural sleep. So it's very, very healthy. It's even better than having an afternoon nap for an hour and a half, because you're in alpha the entire 26 minutes. And that's the biggest rebooster of energy and just bringing you bouncing back. So here are the benefits of being in alpha. These are all the benefits of alpha meditation. As I said, dissolve stress chemicals. Did you know that if you meditate daily for 30 days, you can reduce your blood pressure without drugs, you can reduce your cholesterol levels, you can stabilize your blood sugar? We are not doctors in the Silva Method, but we absolutely guarantee that diabetes 2 is 100% curable by meditation alone. There's not a single person who's made the effort to try to come back from diabetes 2 just using meditation in the Silva Method and have done so successfully. So it's amazing, the power of the mind and meditation daily, how good it is for you. Your health is optimized in the alpha state. Your immune system is boosted. Healing is accelerated. If you start in the morning with the meditation, that whole day you have this kind of sense of inner peace and harmony and being centered. You find it easier to think clearly. You feel more focused. You're way more productive at work. You are quite clear on what your goals are. You stay focused on them. You also have more energy. Remember, if you're stressed, you get fatigued. You have a lot more energy. And if you're very fatigued, let's say 2, 3 in the afternoon, and you'd normally go for a coffee to try and fix that, and you tried something else. You went alone somewhere where you won't be disturbed, and you just closed your eyes, and just for 5 minutes, even less, 3 minutes, you just did slow, deep belly breathing. I can absolutely guarantee you'd come out, you'd have more energy than if you had a coffee. So it does give you more energy. For example, in the Silva Method, the training days are long. They start at 9 in the morning till 7 at night, 4 days in a row. Any other training program you go to, whether it's a seminar or workshop, it's exhausting to start at 9 and finish at 7 at night. In the Silva Method, people have more energy at the end of the day, and they get better every day because we meditate so often during the program. People have a lot more energy, and they sleep very well at night as well. That's just a perfect example of how healthy it is to be in the alpha state. The other thing is intuition. This is such an amazing gift as human beings to have this sense, this knowing, this guided feeling that can literally guide your life. If we can't manage stress, we can never access our intuition. And you know, the more you practice meditation, the more your intuition starts to kick in. And Sarah, you were speaking earlier about, just said something amazing, which I loved, your awareness that sometimes in life, you said these were your words, sometimes in life I feel lost, but I'm aware that my intuition can guide me and I'm just tapping into that more, trusting it more. That's exactly right. And if you meditate every day, the more you meditate, the more and more access you have to your intuition. It's just learning to trust it more and more and learning when you're right and when you're off. Now, obviously, in the Silva Method, 2 days is spent on intuition development. So you definitely leave there with highly refined intuition and more every time you practice. But still, if you just meditate daily, you will have more intuition. Also, you have this feeling of being in the flow state, that good luck factor, when things are working out for you. You feel this synchronicity type feeling. Also feeling more inspired and taking inspired action, having really good ideas, creative ideas, innovative ideas. That all comes from daily meditation. So there are so many benefits to meditation, and people don't really connect the dots, and they don't really think meditation is going to do much. If they would just give it a shot and practice every day for 30 days, just give it a shot every day for 30 days, and just keep a journal, see how much your life improves just through daily meditation. I cannot recommend it more. And even your health will improve. You wouldn't get sick as much. You'd bounce right back. And just by the way, now it's coming to winter. When we get that very, very first feeling that we're getting sick, it could be a sore throat, it could be that gloomy feeling that comes over you, or your nose starts to get a cold. When you very first get the first sign, If you just did the Silva long relax straight away, the minute you felt sick, if you didn't feel better by like 3 or 4 hours later, just do it again. If you still didn't feel like it's gone away completely, 2 or 3 hours later, do it again. I promise you, you will not get sick. I'm just letting you know. If you wait too long, unfortunately, the cycle of getting sick is going to get right into it, and then you're going to have to go through a couple of days to get better. But if you catch it right in the beginning, generally just one long relax, you won't get sick. Your body will bounce back so well, you actually won't get sick. So I don't know if any one of you have heard about the power of words or how words affect the brain. Well, that's a book there, Words Can Change Your Brain. That's written by 2 neuroscientists. And just by the way, they've both done the Silva Method. And the one even wrote a book with Jose Silva years ago. They wrote this book called Words Change Your Brain because the truth is, everything we say, doesn't matter if we're joking, the subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. Now, this is the most profound insight you could ever remember, because this is why Olympic athletes visualize. They visualize themselves winning the race, going through that white ribbon, first place. If they keep doing this in their mind, the subconscious mind doesn't know that it's imagination. It thinks it's real. It can't tell the difference. And if you keep winning the race, over time you start to have a belief. I'm a first place winner. As I said in the beginning of this presentation, whatever you believe that's programmed in your subconscious mind affects all our behaviors, our physical body, our behaviors, which gives us the result. So if you keep on programming that you're the winner, your body will automatically perform that way and you will win. That's why all Olympic athletes use visualization and mental rehearsal. All people in NASA, top performing people in all industries use visualization. So when it comes to words, everything you say, even if you're joking, if you drop something, you say, oh, I'm such an idiot, I dropped this thing. Don't say that. Your subconscious mind is listening and it's programming you all the time. So that picture on the right there, just going back to the stick man, that top half is that conscious mind. The conscious mind can accept or reject any idea. If you don't like something I'm saying, your conscious mind can say, I don't believe that, and I'm going to reject it. But your subconscious mind has no ability to reject anything. It accepts everything and holds it as a true belief. So when we say negative things or run ourselves down, we are literally programming ourselves for failure. So this next technique is called mental house cleaning, and it's to raise the awareness of negative self-talk. I don't know if you know this, but we have approximately 70,000 thoughts a day, and about 85% of them are negative. 85%, where we convince ourselves of things we cannot do. So this exercise is just about negative words. I just want to ask you, just shout out as quickly as you can any negative statement or negative word that you can think that we may use without even realizing.
It's too hard.
Perfect. Yes, it's too hard. What else?
It's impossible.
Brilliant. That's one of the best. It's impossible, because that just absolutely shuts off even the thought that there's a possible way out. To say it's impossible, that's probably one of the strongest. Yes, what else?
I'm going to be late.
Yes, I'm going to be late. Yep. What else?
I guess it's something as simple as I can't do that. I don't have the ability.
Can't. Yep, can't is on the list 100%. And because can't shuts off all possibility. It's one of the most negative words that the brain just stops even thinking of a creative way out if you use the word can't. Yep. What else? Any expressions you can think of? Let me put some on here. The word try. Try is actually a negative word. I didn't agree with this when I first heard it, but now I understand more. I thought it was good to say I'm going to try. But try presupposes failure. An example is if I said, I'll try and meet you at 7 o'clock. I might not be there at 7 o'clock, but if I say I will meet you at 7 o'clock, I'll be there. So it's a commitment. So try leaves a gap for failure. Also, what leads to miscommunication is using words like never or always. If you say to someone, you never listen, you're going to make them defensive. No one likes to be told you never listen, or you never on time, or you never whatever, clean up behind you. If you just said right now, you're not listening to me, that's much easier for us to accept. Always is another example. If you say to someone, you're always late, I say, no, I'm not. If you said you're late right now, you're late today, the person will say, yep, I'm sorry, I should have been on time, whatever it is. So never and always are red flags. Try not to use those words. If we use the word but, it goes like this. Imagine the person saying, I love you, but well, you just negated everything you just said before that. So but is a negative word. Don't is negative because we are saying what we don't want as opposed to what we do want. And remember, the subconscious mind takes everything literally, and unfortunately the brain thinks in pictures. So if you tell someone, don't slam the door, the picture in the mind is slam the door. If I said to you, don't think of a pink elephant with a pink trunk, pink ears, pink tail, pink big feet, pink toenails, by the time I've said all this, don't think of it. You've already seen this pink elephant.
Yeah, I'm actually picturing it right now.
There we go. Exactly. So if you say don't, whatever the statement is, don't spill your tea, don't be late, don't argue, don't whatever. You're putting the picture of what you don't want in the person's mind and creating that image, and the subconscious mind will go with that image. So rather state things that you do want. So please close the door quietly. Please remember to bring. Instead of saying don't be late, please be on time, or please be early. So state things the positive way, what you actually want. Hate is a negative word. If you use the word hate, just don't use it, because it causes the body to release acid straight away. So it's quite unhealthy, just using that word. Rather use dislike, or you'd prefer something else. Say what you'd prefer. Sarah mentioned earlier saying that you're tired. Every time you say I'm tired, you're telling your subconscious mind, I'm tired. So it says, okay, this is how you feel when you're tired, and it'll make you feel tired. So if you just said it repeatedly and you didn't feel tired, just give it enough time, you will start to feel tired. If you said it 10 times in a row when you're feeling energetic, you'll feel less energetic just from saying it. The word should, think about it. If you say, oh, I should have done this and that and that, the emotion that you create with the word should is guilt. And guilt is a very negative emotion and very bad for the immune system. Also saying pain in the neck, pain in the butt, things like that. Definitely don't say pain in the butt unless you really want to have lower back pain or hemorrhoids or something like that. Don't have pain in the neck, just rather say what you prefer. People love to use this word in business. It's critical. Critical is a word that comes from the war zone, the army. It's a critical mission. Or ICU ward in the hospital uses the word critical, it's critical condition. So just say something's very important, but not critical. Oops. Or it's a disaster. So what we have in the Silva Method is something called a pattern interrupter. It's called the cancel technique. So what you do is when you catch yourself saying something negative or thinking it, by the way. So let's say we start with the top one, like Anthony said about can't, or it's impossible. If you said, I can't learn to do this, then you just caught yourself. Immediately go cancel, and then reframe with a positive statement. So I can't learn this. Cancel, somehow, some way I can learn this. We like to use in the Silva Method better and better. It's like the Silva secret handshake, If someone asks you how you are from now on, just answer better and better. Just try that for the next week ahead. Every time tomorrow when you go to work, if people say, hi, how are you? Just say better and better. Say it as much as you can. and watch things get better and better for you. I promise you they will. If someone says, how's it going at work? Say better and better. Watch what happens. How's your business? Better and better. If you've got an ailment and they ask you about that, answer better and better. So even if we said something negative like, oh, I'm very bad at remembering people's names, go cancel, and just say I'm getting better and better at remembering people's names. So try to use better and better if you can. If you can't, just find the positive statement. So with any one of those statements there, if it's tired, don't say I'm tired. Cancel. So say what you want. I could do with more energy right now. Or I could do with a good night's sleep tonight. Or I could do with an afternoon nap. Even if you can't have one, say what you really want, but don't say you're tired because you keep on making yourself more tired. Okay, so that's the Silva Method. Cancel technique. I can just say this, because 80 to 85% of our thoughts every day are negative. This simple technique has got to be the most underestimated and effective technique to slowly over time reprogram yourself to be more of a positive thinker and a person who has more positive self-talk and less negative self-talk. Because all our self-talk is programming us and giving us our results. So you might think this is very simple. Please try and use it. It's very effective. And of course, don't use this out loud to people who haven't heard this or haven't done the Silva Method. I think you're crazy. So if someone at work says, oh, it's a disaster, I could jump off a bridge, everything's going wrong, in your mind, just go cancel, everything's going to be okay. Even if you're listening to someone who's catastrophizing, because when we're listening to someone, did you know that is also programming our subconscious mind? So that's why I try and stay away from people who are full of drama, because everything that's coming out their mouth is like it's coming out your mouth to your own subconscious mind. Okay. Step number 2, have clear goals and achieve them faster. If you ask, as I said, 100 people, what do you really want out of life? Most of them, if you think about it before they answer straight away, they can't answer that straight away. So as much as we think we have goals and we know what they are, most people are not clear on their goals. And the next thing is, after we become clear, how do we achieve them and achieve them quicker? For us to achieve our goals, we need to stay positive, motivated, and focused. And we need to have some technique that helps us to achieve these goals. So I'm going to share with you a technique that I absolutely guarantee if you did it exactly this way, you would get different answers to me asking you right now while you're consciously aware, what do you really want out of life? If I asked you these 5 questions, it's called the What Do I Want reflection, and they're 5 questions. You'll get some answers. But if you do this in a state of meditation, you will get better answers and answers that are more true for you from an intuitive place, from your higher self. It's really what you need to do with your life. So I would recommend that you try this approach. Go somewhere where you won't be disturbed for about 10 or 15 minutes. That's all it takes. Close your eyes. Do some slow, deep belly breathing. Just focus on your breath. Every time you exhale, just tell yourself, relax, relax, relax. Just try and relax. Give yourself a few minutes to relax. Once you're relaxed, sit with a pen and paper on your lap and ask these questions one by one. So you can write them down and write them on a piece of paper. And as you in meditation, just start with the first one and ask yourself, what do I want to create? Now, we very specifically use the word create because we want to keep reinforcing this awareness that we do create our own reality. Even if you don't think you're creating your reality, I'm here to tell you, it's not Jeanine that says this. This is universal law. It's called the law of vibration or the law of attraction. We create our reality with our thoughts and with our feelings, mainly our feelings. If you feel negative, we attract negative things. If you're feeling down, you're going to attract things that will make you feel more down. If you're feeling happy, you're going to attract good luck or good situations that make you feel happier. If you're feeling grateful, you're going to attract more things that are going to please you and make you more grateful. So we are deliberate and intentional about what do I want to create. So that's the first question. The next one is why? Why? Start with why. Why is this valuable to me? The minute you ask why, you introduce purpose. When you have a stronger purpose, you have more motivation to achieve that goal. So you want to know the benefits. If you got this goal, how will it make your life better? How will it make your life different? What are the benefits? The next one is, I love this. What talents and strengths do I have to create this? Yes, please. We want to work in our strength zone. We don't want to work in an area where we got no talent and we feel weak in those areas. No one likes to fail. Give me anyone who says they like to fail. There's no such person. When we do well and we're achieving success and we're scoring goals and we're feeling on top of the world, we love what we're doing. And we do it better and better when we love and when we're good at something. So we want to focus on areas where we have talents and strengths. When people say work on your weaknesses, I'm here to tell you, my friends, it's the biggest load of rubbish under the sun. The only weaknesses you need to work on are things like negative thinking, procrastination, running yourself down. Yeah, that we need to work on. But not if, skills. Yes, we need to develop skills to grow our business. We need to learn new skills that we haven't had before. I agree with that. But try to stay in your strength zone when you're asking, what do I want to create for my life? Make sure you are using your God-given talents and gifts and what you love to do and what you're passionate about. Because in your passion lies your God-given purpose, and these things are really important. They're not just coincidence. We have passions that are different, and we have different talents and skills. So the next question is, when? When do I want to create this? That's just to let the subconscious mind have a focused goal. It might not hit that exact date, but at least it's working towards a timeline. The next question is, how does this relate to others? Wow, I love this. This is what I call the extended benefit factor. If you achieved your goal, how does it relate to others? How does it make other people's lives different and better? What are the benefits for at least 2 other people? So if you achieved your goal, let's say it's about money, wouldn't you be able to, provide better for your family? Wouldn't you be able to maybe give more money away to people less fortunate than ourselves? If one of our goals was something to do with career and we achieved that, wouldn't we be happier? Wouldn't we be better at home if we were happier and more fulfilled? If it's a relationship goal, if you got that and things were really wonderful and you were happy, wouldn't it affect other relationships? Wouldn't it affect your general mood overall? So try to see how your goal, if you achieve it, would relate to others. That also increases your purpose more. So my recommendation here is, don't do this in a conscious state. You're going to get answers that, are at a certain level. If you do this in a meditative state, I can almost assure you, you're going to get some really wise answers that might even surprise you. So take your time with that one. Then how to stay focused and motivated. Boy, everyone talks about gratitude, and thank goodness they do. Gratitude is a powerful and creative emotional state. The more we practice gratitude, the better our life becomes. I'm sure you all know this. I have to say the obvious because sometimes we forget to do the obvious. So my recommendation is get a gratitude journal and journal every night, even if you just do it for 3 minutes. Just write a couple of things. I'm so happy and grateful now that, and anything. The more you can list, the better. The minute you start appreciating, being thankful and grateful, you actually raise your vibration. You raise your mood. The state of appreciation and gratitude, when it's full on, is the highest emotional state. It's like love. And when we do this and have more gratitude and raise that vibration, as I said, we create a reality through our thoughts and our feelings. So we're going to attract more things in our life that are going to make us feel grateful. How wonderful is that? That's how you manifest your goals. You program them, get clear on what they are. I would recommend you visualize daily. I didn't even put it on here because it's really obvious. We need to visualize daily, even if it's for 5 minutes. I don't mind it. 5 minutes is great if you do nothing else. 10 or 15 is even better. Just relax and visualize. But when you have all this gratitude going on, it does attract into your life what you want. And then everyone knows, every personal development guru will tell you, surround yourself with people who can support you. This is really important. Think of someone who wants to get fit. How much better they are going to a gym with a support team there or a personal trainer versus trying to do it on their own and they stop when they start. Any support group, people who want to stop drinking, they go to support groups, they're more effective. So one thing I like about the Silva Method is once you've done the training, you become part of a community of Silva graduates, and it's growing now in Australia. I've been doing this for a few years now, and the numbers are growing. So we're doing graduate programs. We started that, and we're going to start, well, we've really planned them. So we're starting our first graduate programs now. But otherwise, there's always opportunities for us, the Silva people, to get together, and we support each other. We have a Facebook group. So that's another benefit. Okay, so step 1, remaining calm and focused even under pressure. Step 2, clear goals, how to achieve them. Now step 3, everybody under the sun has got limiting beliefs. There's not a person who doesn't have them. People who are highly successful, who have really, changed gear in their success or made a step change, they've worked on this. They may not have said so out loud, but they've done something in their life to overcome some self-limiting beliefs. So these are just beliefs that we have about things that we can or cannot do. It's not real. Your potential is unlimited. You are way more than you appear to be. In fact, you're better. We just have beliefs that we've adopted somewhere, and if we've adopted them when we're very young, as I said, between 0 and 7, you may think they're facts. I'm here to tell you there are no facts. There's nothing that you cannot do. You just believe that you can't do it. So overcoming limiting beliefs is huge. You can change your life if you address this. And you can address it. You can change your limiting beliefs. You just got to rewire or reprogram your brain. So the first thing is, here's a recommended tip. Create what we call a resourceful state. You see that man in the picture who's, yay, yes, I'm a winner of success, whatever. He's so feeling on a high, he's achieved something. When I say evidence, take the time to reflect on your life and break it up into decades, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and list as many successes as you can that you can remember. Take the time to do this. Write it somewhere where you can look at it often. And then try to identify yourself. What is that one most proud moment of success out of all of them? Try to find that highest point. Then what I'd like you to do is go into a meditation, just relax, breathe slowly, and start to visualize reliving that experience. Now, in the Silva Method, we actually do this in a guided meditation. It's very, very powerful. Everyone has to identify their high point. I'll take you into a deep guided meditation. We really become very deep and calm. And then we relive that experience, and you watch people actually smiling whilst they're doing the meditation. They're reliving this wonderful sense of achievement. And then we do something that we call the 3 fingers technique, where we lock in that high point. We lock in that resourceful state of confidence, achievement, feeling like a winner. Even your body posture is one of power, one of strength. And when we lock that in, we just say to ourselves in that meditation, whenever I have a need or desire to think, feel, behave, or believe this way, all I need to do is put my 3 fingers together and it will be so. And it sounds really too good to be true, but the subconscious mind is so strong. It says, okay, whenever you put your 3 fingers together, you're going to access the same state you're in as this man in the picture. And my friends, this works amazingly well. You can go before doing a presentation, put your 3 fingers together, you have more confidence. You can be going into a meeting, put your 3 fingers together, you can be more persuasive. You can go into a situation where you think you might, butt heads or have an argument. You can say, I want to be calm and I want to relax and be relatable. Whatever resourceful state, you can program any resourceful state. But for this specifically, on how to achieve our goals or overcome limiting beliefs, find your high point, your evidence, visualize reliving it. And when you're in your high point and you feel that great feeling of confidence and achievement, then move your mind and visualize your goal that you want, this new goal, whatever it is, whilst you're in that high state. It's very, very powerful because you're moving an emotion that literally it changes your performance, and you matching it to a goal that you're trying to visualize for. And if you did this daily and you got that feeling into the goal you're trying to achieve, wow, you're going to achieve that goal. You're going to achieve it much faster than you think. Okay, the last one is how to make better decisions and recognize opportunities. So just to recap on decision making, to be good at decision making is a key skill for success, a key ingredient for success. You can't show me as a single successful person who's not good at decision making. It's a skill that they have, and believe it or not, you can develop it. You can get better at decision making. In fact, in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he's got a whole chapter dedicated to decision. Why? Because it's that important. If you want to be very successful, you've got to learn how to make decisions, and there's an art to it. Yes, there's an art to being better at decision making. The other art is to be able to discern if an opportunity is right for you, to recognize the right opportunities. We have a lot going past us every day. Millions of things happen. How do we know if that's an opportunity for us? This is where being able to access our creativity and our intuition come in, especially intuition. Wow. Intuition really guides a person to make good decisions. You know, they say that executives who are very busy, they can only have a little time to assess data, to analyze data. There's only so much time they have to look at reports and financial statements and get into a meeting and discuss and whatever it may be for them to read through. There's not enough time to know everything. So they have a short amount of time to look at data. Then they have to make a decision. Do you know that the best ones, the best executives, the ones who can make it using the balance of that decision making coming from intuition? They get a gut feeling. They get a hunch. Yep, this is something we've got to do. Take that step. Yep, this is not something we've got to do. Don't take that step. That's intuition, and that can be developed. So how valuable is intuition? Well, how's this from Harvard research study? And this is quite recent. It says the two most effective tools for the 21st century executives are, believe it or not, meditation and intuition. This is really new for many people. They might say, oh, no, effective tools is negotiating skills and, I don't know, management effectiveness. Meditation and intuition. You can probably understand for yourselves now why meditation is so important from the beginning of this presentation, because how it affects every behavior we have and how we make decisions and our focus, our interpersonal skills. So meditation is really important. And intuition, that's exactly right, because that's for decision making. I love Albert Einstein. Yeah, the only real valuable thing is intuition. I so love that quote because Einstein is a man of knowledge. We know him for being the father of knowledge. And he's not saying the most valuable thing is to read more, study more, have more knowledge. He's saying the only real valuable thing is intuition. And just by the way, if anyone goes and reads up on Albert Einstein's life, just about all his discoveries came through either dreams or a light nap, but they came through intuitive insights. He even admitted he's not very good at maths. And look at all that he did. He used to say, I know the answer exists somewhere. I just need to connect with it. I just need to find it. I don't know the answer, but I know the answer exists somewhere. And he used to get everything that he did came through intuition, very often in dreams. So there is a challenge with intuition, and we all probably know this. Sorry for using the pun. We probably all know this intuitively. There is a challenge with it because we often can't really discern for ourselves, is this wishful thinking or is this intuition? Like sometimes you really want something, you say, that's a sign, I've got to do this thing. Well, maybe it's a sign because you want it to be a sign because that's wishful thinking. How do we know when it's really intuition? The other thing that's a challenge is fear. Sometimes we think, just got this hunch. I definitely shouldn't do that. I shouldn't go after that job. I shouldn't apply for that thing. I shouldn't do that course, or I shouldn't move town. You think it's intuition. No, it's actually coming from fear. So how do we discern? Well, it's very difficult or challenging to know, is it wishful thinking, is it fear, or is it accurate intuitive insight? Another thing that can distort our intuition is projection. So that means who you are, all your thoughts and beliefs are projected into the situation, and you then say it's intuition. So as an example, if you grew up with your parents telling you repeatedly that, just giving an example, second-hand car salesmen can never be trusted, and you also have the belief that second-hand car salesmen can't be trusted, and then you want to go and buy a car one day from a second-hand dealer, and you just suddenly say, when you walk away from the guys helping you, I just have this hunch that, I shouldn't buy the car, and there's something funny about this deal. Well, that's maybe not the case. It could just be your own projection. So the way to refine our intuition is to move away from having no points of reference. The reason why we don't know how to discern is we lack points of reference. So points of reference means how many times you can have the chance to test your intuition, if you're right or if you're wrong. That's a point of reference. So the best way of developing it is to develop many, many, many accurate and verifiable points of reference. So in the Silva Method, out of the 4-day program, 2 full days are spent on intuition, where we play these little fun games and we get immediate feedback. And every time we get feedback, we say, when I sensed it like that, I was right. And when I sensed it like that, I was off. When I maybe was too much in my head and thinking, I got it wrong. But when I just had this like I'm making it up feeling, like it's make-believe, then I was correct. So the more you get that feedback, the more evidence you have, the more experience you get, the more practice you get. That's how you develop, access, and refine your intuition. So if you don't do the Silva Method, my recommendation to you is become aware of that gut feeling, of that hunch, of that sensing, that knowing. And always trust your intuition and go with it. And then when it leads you wrong, go back and try and see why. Was it fear? Was it projection? What was it? But from now on, always trust your intuition and start to get used to it so that you can develop it more and more over time. So let's just recap quickly. The 4 key skills. Skill number 1, how to remain calm and focused even under pressure. That's about meditating daily and using the cancel technique. And then you definitely must reframe with a positive affirmation. Don't just go cancel. No, you've got to go cancel. It stops the neural pathway, and then reframe with a positive affirmation. So you embed in your brain a positive statement that slowly starts to override your negative ones over time. Secondly, have clear goals and know how to achieve them quicker. So to get clear goals, do that what do I want reflection in a meditative state. Gratitude journal every night. Start a habit. It's fantastic. And try and surround yourself with people who are like-minded and can support you. To overcome self-limiting beliefs, go back into your history, break up your life into decades, find yourself evidence of where you were successful, and then visualize daily on what it is that you want to change and use that resourceful state. Of course, in the Silva Method, this is a very specific technique, or 2, I would say, where we do this in a very, very strong and powerful way, and we just lock something in that program that lasts a lifetime. So we create a resourceful state that will forever last on anything we want to achieve. The other thing, just to say, which I may not have mentioned earlier, if you don't know where you have a limiting belief, this is how you can work it out. Whenever you have a negative emotion, any negative emotion, I don't mind what it is. It can be grief, anger, frustration, jealousy, hatred, overwhelm. Any negative emotion, in there lies a limiting belief. Whether it's about you, someone else, a situation, I'm just letting you know that. And if you don't understand that or get confused, get hold of me and I can talk you through that. But any negative emotion is a limiting belief. Lastly, to make better decisions and recognize opportunities, that's about developing your creativity and your intuition. So my friends, I hope that was valuable. Was it valuable? Did it help you at all?
I think having to put some of these into practice would be definitely valuable, Jeanine.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah, definitely helped me.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I want you to apply it as much as you can. Definitely put it into your life as much as you can, even if it's bit by bit. It will make things better and better. Of course, if you enjoyed this and you want to expand on it and take it further and develop yourself, the next step is really up to you. Let's do the Silva Method. The founder, Jose Silva, I love this quote. He says, the greatest discovery you'll ever make is the potential of your mind. Because your mind determines everything. All your success, all your failure, all your poverty, all your wealth, all your health, all your sickness, all your everything is in the mind. And when we can develop more of the mind, we can slowly but surely over time make our lives better and better. So what I love about the Silva Method, I'll just run quickly through some of the techniques that you learn. Definitely how to manage and reduce stress, how to sleep better, how to manage pain, how to get rid of headaches without the use of medication, how to increase self-confidence. Many people think it's so difficult. It's not that difficult. Simple technique. You can increase your self-confidence massively over time. We also use dynamic meditation to visualize, so we manifest our goals. As I said, 2 days is spent on developing intuition. What a wonderful skill. Learning to be more in the flow state, how to be more innovative and creative, how to make better decisions. So we have a decision-making technique, very simple, called a glass of water. We do a life purpose exercise, one of my favorites. We get amazing answers. We ask questions and we write them out in meditation. You also feel more self-empowered because you leave there with very easy techniques to use that are very structured that can help you solve anything you ever face, any problem you could ever have, anything you want to ever do. You have a tool or technique for that. Also, just to have a more confident, hopeful, and reliable level of trust in yourself. It's amazing when you have the tools to help yourself, how much more empowered you are. So that's it, my friends. It's really about unlocking more of your potential. Just to say the classes that are coming up, the next one's in May, the 24th, and then the class after that is in September because we don't train Silva during winter. We just prefer longer daylight hours for that. The benefit of doing the Silva Method, it costs $1,500 for 4 days. Once you've done the program, you can have free unlimited review for the rest of your life in any country in the world, in 110 countries. So imagine having a program that can help you so much and you can review it whenever you want just to get better and better over time. Also, we give a conditional money back guarantee. The only condition, attend all 4 days and do every exercise. If you don't think that this thing will help you or has any value, no questions asked. Truly, we give your money back. That's it. We stand by that. There's also a program for kids. So if anyone knows you've got kids or you know someone who has, maybe you want to share this. It's for 8 to 12-year-olds specifically. The only thing is a prerequisite is that at least one parent needs to be a Silva graduate. And the only reason is we want the child to thrive. We want the parents to support and encourage them to practice these techniques. And we also don't want a kid saying, hey, mom, dad, if this is so good for me, why don't you do it? Because children learn more from what they see than from what they hear. It's like the law of the picture. John Maxwell talks about the law of the picture. People learn from what they see. So that's just why the parent needs to do the Silva program first. Or you can come with your child to the adult class. That's also fine as long as they're 8 years or older. So that's it, my friends. Thank you very, very much. I don't know if anyone has any questions. I'll just switch off the recording for now.